Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports the Department of Justice announced Thursday a Japanese company, Toyobo, and its U.S. subsidiary agreed to pay $66 million in a settlement with the U.S. government for selling defective bulletproof vests to federal, state, local, and tribal law enforcement agencies. Between at least 2001 and 2005, Toyobo knew that its bulletproof vest material, Zylon, degraded quickly in normal heat and humidity, which made it unfit for use in bulletproof vests, according to the settlement. Despite this knowledge, the company actively marketed the material for use in bulletproof vests, and in 2003, when Second Chance Body Armor recalled some of its vests containing Zylon, Toyobo tried to influence other companies to keep selling their Zylon-containing vests. The controversy over the effectiveness of Zylon led to a study by the National Institute of Justice that found that more than 50% of Zylon-containing bulletproof vests could not stop a bullet, which led to the official decertification of the material. The settlement also resolves a lawsuit against Toyobo filed by Dr. Aaron Westrick, a former Second Chance employee. Westrick filed a whistleblower complaint under the False Claims Act, which allows him to sue on behalf of the government and share in any recovery. As part of the settlement, he will receive $5.775 million.
In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
Reuters reports a newly erected pedestrian bridge spanning several lanes of traffic collapsed at Florida International University on Thursday, killing 4 people, according to Miami-Dade County Fire Chief Dave Downey. Emergency personnel with sniffer dogs searched for signs of life amid the wreckage of concrete slabs and twisted metal after the 950-ton bridge crushed vehicles on one of the busiest roads in South Florida. Officials and doctors told a news conference Thursday night at least 8 vehicles were trapped in the wreckage of the bridge and at least 10 people had been transported to hospitals. Witnesses told media the vehicles were stopped at a traffic light when the bridge collapsed on top of them around 1:30 p.m. Eastern. At one point, police requested television helicopters leave the area so rescuers could hear for any sounds of people crying for help from beneath the collapsed structure. Complicating the rescue efforts was the uncertainty about the integrity of the bridge, parts of which remained off the ground, much of it inclined. According to a post on the university's website, the 174-foot-long bridge connects the university with the city of Sweetwater and was installed on Saturday in 6 hours over the 8-lane highway. Students at the university are currently on spring break vacation. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
It's the Onion Radio News. Raccoon leaders call for the loosening of garbage can lids. This is Doyle Redland reporting. In a 4 a.m. speech at the group's annual Washington, D.C. convention this morning, North American Raccoon Federation President Bristletail called upon homeowners to loosen the lids of their garbage cans, providing the ring-tailed mammals with greater access to discarded food scraps during nocturnal scavenging.
Every time you seal a standard 30-gallon garbage can, as many as 6 raccoons are forced to go without their necessary daily supply of congealed baked beans, rancid cottage cheese chunks, and moldy cantaloupe rinds.
The 26-pound varmint closed his speech with a stern warning that without raccoons, possums could take over the world. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
computers are online, I'm gonna start loading software.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Call to Freedom.
Broadcasting live from Verdcoin Studios on LRN FM.
You're listening to Will.
You will listen to every damn word I have to say!
And Aria.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Stay tuned for political talk and everything crypto. That's right.
Broadcasting internationally on our BitPlus network satellite.
This is
The Call to Freedom.
All right, let's boot it up.
That's right. Welcome here to this Friday live edition of The Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Well, you know what? This is Will Coley from The Call to Freedom. We're in the Vertcoin studio. It is a windy, blustery day outside. And, well, we've got some news to talk about today. I'm joined by my classic crew, Mr. Tom Gray and Miss Aria Demezio from cryptocurrencycheck.org. How are you folks doing today?
I'm great. A little tired, but...
Yeah, speaking of weather, I have to tell on myself. So, Wednesday night, right before I went to bed, I checked weather.com to see, because people were saying it's going to be a wintry day tomorrow. Check the weather. Weather.com said it was going to be a low of -2 and that the high on Thursday was going to be 14 degrees. And I was like, oh crap, I'd better, turn the little trickle on in the faucet and turn the heat up. I get to bed, I check weather.com on my phone again, and instead it says it's like going to be 32 overnight and in the 60s on Thursday. I'm like, what the heck? I realized that my VPN was connected to a Canadian server. So weather.com had given me the temperatures for the next day in Celsius instead of Fahrenheit. So I hope that the power company enjoys the extra money that they made off of me. And the water
you don't have one of those that
I had it set on fastest server. So it would just pick whatever server was fastest, and for some reason the Toronto server was faster than all the US ones.
Oh, see the one that we're looking at for our thermostat at home, what you do is you dial into it with your cell phone. And you can change it.
Yeah. I don't trust those. That's just inviting botnets into your house. That's a good way to turn your whole house into a Monero mining operation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, the whole Internet of Things is going to be a disaster because, no one takes IT security seriously.
Well, I mean, how would you secure a smart thermometer?
You can't. They don't have enough memory. Yeah, they don't have enough memory. They're designed not to be securable.
Well, I mean, the people who design it and engineer them would be the ones responsible for securing it. But, I mean, they don't care at all. It's an afterthought to them at best. And the people who would come out and install it, they don't care. The people who would come out and fix it, they don't care.
And, even somebody like Aria couldn't help you secure it manually because it doesn't have the processing power to handle things like cryptography or authentication.
Oh. Okay, well, I guess I will start looking for another way to, because my house. Okay, here's the way my house works. Right, all my rooms have heat, and the hallway where the thermostat is has none. So if my room is like I need to go turn the thermostat down, it's so hot, I go in and in my hallway, and my thermostat says it's 61. So I need a way for the thermostat to be able to pick up what's going on away from it. And the smart thermostats come with these sensors that you can place around the room. And then you can accurately deduce what the temperature inside of, the areas where there actually are heaters, rather than me running my heat 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because my thermostat thinks that it's 60 in my house when in the rooms where the heat's actually running, it's like 65.
I think, and Aria, you may be familiar with this too, I think you can actually set up a home intranet that use a router but don't connect it to a modem, so that your intranet devices can communicate for those purposes without having to communicate with the internet, but it requires your IoT devices to function without internet, and that's where a lot of them I understand lack that capability. They have to be able to connect to the server in order to get enough data to function. But if you could isolate them from the internet, so your thermostat is talking to the sensors, your sensors are talking to the thermostat, they're both talking to the heat pump, then it would still function. The question is, do they have enough information inside the little IoT box to function without also connecting to internet servers?
Well, you could get a Raspberry Pi and, set it up yourself and then not have to worry about other people to take care of your security.
Well, one of the beautiful things about these new little gadgets, though, is that you can connect to them from outside. You can be, on vacation in Tahiti and hear, oh, there's going to be a horrible storm, freezing cold weather, and you can just dial up. You can pull up your thing on your phone and do and raise the temperature in the house to 70, and now you don't have to worry about freezing.
So can Dimitri in Eastern Europe, though.
What? What's Dimitri?
I don't know, just some Eastern European name.
Oh, you're talking about... Yeah, but why does Dimitri in Eastern Europe want to turn my thermostat up?
So he can mine Monero.
So he can mine Monero.
He doesn't want to turn your thermostat up. He wants to harness the computing power of your thermostat along with a million other thermostats in order to launch a botnet attack on, whoever he wants to launch a botnet attack
So
on.
even with that small amount of memory, that there's not enough memory that you can secure it, you could use it to mine Monero. Would that take like 100,000 of them, wouldn't it?
Exactly. But how many people are there in the United States, and what percentage of them have adopted this technology in their houses already, and how many devices does each house have?
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is it may be safe now, but in 5 years from now, when everybody has
safe
one.
now. No, it's not safe now. They're already using it this way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's not like you would notice it, except that they're using your electricity.
Well, I mean, take the Den botnet. 2.5 million phones, I think it was, that were infected, and more than half of those are still infected because nobody even bothered to go online to see if their phones was one of them.
Yep.
And soon it'll be thermostats in people's...
It already is.
Ovens and microwaves.
Those smart refrigerators that basically have a tablet built into them.
So what you're saying is that I need to stick with my idea of buying a wood-fired stove instead of getting a new nice one.
Pretty much, if you want to be cyber secure.
Wow. They cannot mine Monero with that.
No. Yeah. No, you are not mining Monero. The problem is I'm going to need at least 7 grown adult men to get it in my house.
Well, I'm not volunteering, and Arya's not a man, so you're on your own.
My hands
get Mike and Daryl and Chris.
My hands don't work, so you'll have to literally tie my hands to a corner of it, and then I'll just use the strength of my arms to help.
Quite a word picture.
Oh wow, goodness. Well, they make those new. Well, they're not new, but they're awesome. Problem is it's the. I've tried to work with cast iron before, and that stuff is so heavy that I don't know if the stuff that we used to move that old wood furniture with is going to work. But we used to do this these strap things that you like. It was like a vest that you put on. It worked great. All right. Well, when we get back, I've got a story here that we're going to be covering. 2 women in Arizona were arrested today. Decided to go on a how to be a racist field trip. We'll get into that and a whole lot more when we get back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And it's a wonderful day outside. But you know what? Sometimes you got to be careful these days. No matter how pretty it may be outside your window, there are always those out there in the government lurking around trying to get their hands on your personal information and your internet communications. You know, and securing your internet communication against the government's become almost impossible these days. I mean, we were literally just talking about how they might want to use your TV or your refrigerator as a way to access your information. And, Governments can see everything you do online, and they can block services to stop you from communicating altogether. Enter CryptVisor, the unstoppable instant communication platform. CryptVisor is powered by the blockchain and fully decentralized. They have no central servers for governments to block or to shut down. CryptVisor neither asks for nor stores your personal information. Even if governments ask them for your data, well, they simply don't have it. Find out how you can get CryptVisor for free and learn about their premium options like the CVPay cryptocurrency wallet and other advanced security features. That's CryptVisor at cryptvisor.network. So go over there to cryptvisor.network and check them out today. Now, I want to get into the story. It's a particularly disturbing story. I want to cover it kind of from two different angles. But there's the two women in Tempe, Arizona. Now, Tom and Ari, you guys got a chance to take a look at this story before we came on. And, well, let's just say it's not the best of what America has to offer, to say the least.
Do we ever talk about what the best of America has to offer is on this show?
Right.
When we talk about fornicating in the woods, maybe.
Fornicating in the woods!
True, but even that was immigrants.
Well, we've got some of these people that are always hollering about folks fornicating in the woods here in Tempe, Arizona. Turns out they've been arrested at about 3 p.m. Yesterday afternoon. 3 p.m. Yeah, yesterday afternoon. Arizona time, on suspicion of burglary for an incident at the local Islamic Community Center of Tempe. Tani Gonzalez, and Elizabeth Liz Dauenhauer, I think is how you say that, posted videos on March 4th episode of Gonzalez's live Facebook feed on her Facebook page, showing her and Dauenhauer entering the grounds of the mosque with 3 of Gonzalez's children and 2 dogs in tow. The group
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Where is Arpaio when you need him?
Well, no, she's a fan of Arpaio.
Really?
Yeah, there's on her social media, there are photographs of her and Dauenhauer with Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Well, not actually with him. I guess he wouldn't take a picture with her because she's Hispanic. It's a picture of her standing in front of him with a big smile on her face and a MAGA hat on, and him like 6 feet behind her talking to a white lady. Probably someone whose last name isn't Gonzalez.
Probably.
The group took literature from a gated-off area of the mosque and then began shouting at a man who came out of a building. Gonzalez could be heard on video shouting anti-Muslim slurs at the man. Tempe police spokesperson Detective Lily Duran said that burglary charges have been filed, considered a Class C felony, and that the police will be recommending a hate crimes enhancement for sentencing should the woman be found guilty. She added that Arizona has no hate crime charges laws, but that it could be added as an enhancement for sentencing.
Hold up, for theft? How do you steal something in hate? I mean, maybe if you hate them, you steal their food or something.
Wait till we get done. Wait till we get done.
Plus,
I mean, I've seen the rest of it.
It's a burglary charge, though. It's not just theft. It's burglary indicates breaking and entering. So you can break into somebody's place in hate.
But they didn't break in. They walked in.
Well,
let's continue.
Anyway, yeah, they went past a no trespassing sign. That's at least trespassing. Says, let's see, blah, 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 blah. In the video, which has since been removed from Gonzalez's page, that happens usually when these people... And we actually have another video that we're going to check out a little later that was also put up with a lot of gusto and, boy, we're proud of this, and then immediately taken down once people started going, hey, yo, that's kind of messed up. Says let's see, the group can be seen encountering a gate on the mosque that reads no firearms allowed. Not surprising to me. Gonzalez paused and said to her son, I've got to take my gun out of my backpack. Go take it back. Go take it back to the car. She muttered something else to her son. Then upon entering through the gate, which also had a no trespassing sign on it, she told Dowenauer, I had Betty on me, so I had to put Betty away.
That tells me that they knew what they were doing. They were trying to avoid the felony by not making it trespassing by weapon.
Yes. Perhaps the most disturbing element of the video was that Gonzalez repeatedly encouraged her children to use anti-Muslim slurs and rhetoric while they were at the mosque. As she filmed the group taking leaflets and other items from outside the mosque, one of the children can be heard saying something about smelling goats. Exactly, Gonzalez said. They smell like goats. Gonzalez then picked up a handful of items that were in a box, which she said appeared to be air fresheners. We're going to wipe poop all over these, Gonzalez said, laughing. She also admonished her children not to touch anything because you might catch something. Dowenauer was shown on the video removing pieces of paper from a community bulletin board and announcing upcoming events in the local community. This is the infiltration of the Arabic Muslim coming in and destroying America, Gonzalez states.
With air fresheners.
Muslims are nothing but devil, Satan worshipers. Actually, what it was one of them, it was like an advertisement for a local accountant because it's tax season. You know?
So immediately after telling her children not to touch things because they might catch something, she starts touching things.
Yes.
Well,
exactly.
Yeah. Because logic, folks, I mean, these people are known, aren't they, for their grasp of reality and strong grip on logic.
I'm guessing the kids weren't vaccinated, so I'd be worried too.
All right, well, we're going to continue on with the story here, and you know what? I feel it's unfair to blame Trump. Not because I like him, but because I've been awake since 2008, and we're actually going to get into why this is nothing new. As a matter of fact, these exact things have been happening for almost 10 years now. The media all of a sudden decided to pay attention. You got an opinion? Give us a call, 603-283-6160.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
We're being attacked by news from all sides in tonight's News Blitz. Now we're homing in on Houston, Texas, where NASA announced today that the crew of the International Space Station has successfully completed their 13-year mission studying man's ability to constantly repair a large object in space. NASA officials hailed the remarkable feat of maintenance at a press conference this afternoon.
And throughout human history, man has gazed at the stars and dreamed of fixing something up there. People once thought the ultimate feat in human repair was a really big boat. Today, we've accomplished so much more.
This comes in the wake of NASA's previous success, finding out how many times an astronaut could hold something in his hand, then let it go, watch it float in front of his face for a bit, then catch it again. All right, dust yourself off. You have survived the News Blitz.
Tune in tomorrow morning to Today Now. We'll look back at Jim's week as a polygamist.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
This is the Onion News Network.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.fm पे.
But they also want to get them for being
All right, so we welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, and we're covering this story here. It's beyond disturbing, it really is, but it's not like it's anything new. That's the that's the thing here, you know. And this was the story. I originally saw it yesterday, and every time I saw it, it was shared in this context of this is America in the age of Trump. Aria, you're a transgender person. Is this America in the age of Trump, or is this just America?
It's just America, without a doubt.
For real.
I mean, if anything, things have improved.
Yeah. I know this sounds crazy, but I think that Trump being in office is actually making people less prejudiced. Like the prejudiced idiots, of course, are more prejudiced than ever. But they have been. They've been getting progressively worse since 2010. Like the rise of the Tea Party and all of that started the beginning of this thing. Like we went from 100 and I want to say like 112 anti-Muslim attacks to 160 Muslim attacks, anti-Muslim attacks from 2008 to 2010. And then from 2010 to 2014, we went from 160 a year to 309 a year. And they're like, oh, well, there's been a 5% rise since Trump got elected. Prejudice is out of control in the age of Trump. And I'm like, what do you mean? There was a 50% rise in 1 year under Obama. You know,
I don't know the stats or the details about, you know, what Muslims in America face, but I know that, you know, for trans people, it has most certainly improved. It doesn't have anything to do with Trump per se, except that, you know, it's causing trans supporters and LGBT supporters, GSM supporters, whatever you would like to call them, to also be as vocal as Trump supporters.
Well, I think that's what I mean, is that like people are coming out, supportive people are coming out of the woodwork when you didn't used to see them as heavily.
Yeah,
but
that may be
the case. These idiots here have been coming out of the woodwork since 2010. Like I've been dealing with these people like this, who talk like this and who speak like this, who literally pulled a pistol out at a Tea Party event in Kingston, Roane County Tea Party, Tom.
Yeep.
Yeah, back in 2011, I think. The vice chair of the then vice chair of the Roane County Tea Party pulled a pistol out on me and my wife and our 4-month-old child. And all I did was ask a question that the speaker couldn't answer, So this kind of like lunacy is not a new thing.
I think what I would say, what has happened in the age of Trump, is that they are more bold, but they're less scared. So the kind of experiences that minorities, religious and ethnic and gender and sexual minorities are having are more driven by boldness, but less driven by fear, which is going to maybe mean more. You got more people who think they're empowered to walk into a mosque and Trump is going to save them, but fewer people who are scared enough of the fact that there's a Muslim in the room to pull a gun. So different sides of the same coin, but then the actual hate crimes, which are driven more by fear, would almost certainly go down, because when the fear goes down, the crime goes down.
Okay, you're saying that they're more bold, right? I'm saying that that's not
more
true.
Confident, more secure.
Again, I don't believe that. Like, all right, I'm going to play this clip. I actually helped leak this video in 2000, and this is from April of 2010. Okay, now remember, before we play this woman encouraged her son. She applauded her dog for urinating on the property, and then said that she wished that she'd brought all of her animals so that they could all urinate everywhere. She applauded stealing pamphlets and leaflets from the property and told her son to take 2 of everything he could get his hands on. She was very, 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 she laughed about it. She thought it was great, and she encouraged her children to do so. All right, now this happened at the University of Central Florida while I was at the University of Central Florida. And this is a table, and this is a woman just like the woman that we're talking about now, but this is a man instead talking to students.
Obviously, it's going to be a religion. I mean, that's the same thing for a Christian. They probably go majorly with their...
I totally understand where you're coming from, but do you think that this kind of organization promotes hate among people? No, that's fine, but do you think the perception in the society that we live in, the perception, you have to take it day by day in the society that we live in, do you think that it looks like it promotes hate? Because I would argue yes.
Oh, I love it. No, their feet, the foot baths. Oh, I love pissing in them.
That's so appropriate. I remember this.
I love just walking up, just after drinking a 6-pack. I really got to go bad. I really don't care.
I understand that.
I really. I try, and the Koran makes worthless toilet paper. It kind of scratches my ass a little bit.
That actually really makes sense. I may actually listen to it, but this...
Okay, so tell me the difference in being bold enough to go on a college campus and say these things publicly, brag about it, and not be ashamed in one bit. This is video that they took of themselves. I took the video and was like, hey, media, did you notice that these people put this video up and like they're really, really proud of the fact that they're saying that they did these things? And they're immediately, as soon as the media calls them and they're like, so, hey, we see this video that you guys put up and we were wondering about blah, 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 blah. Immediately they shut their whole YouTube account down. And she did the same thing. The one girl, her Facebook page is gone altogether. And the other girl, she took the video down.
I think that gives pretty good insight about what's happening, is that they expect to be emboldened. They expect to get away with these kind of things. And instead, they're met with the reaction that we were talking about of vocal supporters coming out and saying, hey, you're a dumb bitch and you need to stop.
Yeah, okay. Again, though.
Here's the difference, though.
This happened in 2018, and that the video I just played came from 2010.
Yeah, if it happened in 2018, they wouldn't have felt the need to take the video down because they wouldn't have thought, oh, bummer, was going to come and get them.
Well, no, because she did, though. She did take the video down. Someone did do a media story about it, and she did take the video down. Just like when someone tried to do a story about this, the ACT group in Orlando took their whole YouTube channel down. So the reaction from both was the same. When Trump was in office, it was, oh, no, we're caught. People are reacting badly. We should take this down.
I see what you're saying.
And then when Obama was in office, it was the same thing.
Well, let me tell you the difference in this case. She got charged with something, and her lawyer grabbed her by the shoulders and shook her so hard that if she was a baby, she'd have brain damage, and said, "You have video of yourself on YouTube committing the crime. Take it down." That's the difference.
Well, I mean, but wouldn't it be too late?
Yes, it would. It would be too late, but you'd still take it down just in case people hadn't noticed it yet.
Well,
I mean, it's too late, but you try to put
you're...
the genie back in a bottle.
Well,
you try.
You look like you're still proud of committing the crime at that point. I mean,
She probably is.
It's not particularly smart to leave a video of yourself committing a felony on
I didn't say they got
Facebook.
smarter.
Oh, Jesus. You know what? This Ship of Fools bumper is so pertinent so often. All right, we'll be back here in a little while. You want to weigh in, give us a call, 603-283-6160. Be right back here on the Call to Freedom.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
My name is Angel Rach. I'm a mother of 2 teenage children, and I fought all the way to the Supreme Court for the right to use the medicine that saved my life. I've been permanently disabled for 10 years, with an inoperable brain tumor, wasting syndrome, and several other serious conditions. For 4 years, I was in a wheelchair, in so much pain, I couldn't even hug my kids. The hardest part was looking in their eyes and seeing how much they were suffering because of my medical condition. The medicine that gave me my life back and gave my kids their mom back was cannabis, also known as medical marijuana. With medical marijuana, I can walk, maintain my weight, and I can be a mom. Without it, my doctors believe that I would die. To learn more about medical marijuana, contact Marijuana Policy Project at 1-877-JOIN-MPP or on the web at mpp.org.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Brought to you live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. Come on up and see us sometime, man. It is a wonderful crypto community right here in Keene, New Hampshire. And you know what? There's a really good opportunity for you to make that trek up here to visit. It's called ForkFest. ForkFest 2018. You can join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians this summer from June 14th through June the 18th for ForkFest 2018 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. Remember when PorkFest used to be fun? Well, then you should come on out to ForkFest. It says here ForkFest is a fork of other camping parties in the woods, and well, you're invited to come and create whatever experience you'd like others to have. ForkFest is decentralized, which means, well, nobody's in charge, so everyone's in charge. It's up to you to create what happens. So simple, or you know what? Just come and relax and camp with some other liberty-loving folks. ForkFest.party. That's where you can learn a little more or join the forum or the Telegram chat group. That's ForkFest.party. Come party with some anarchists in the woods. Now, back to this this disturbing story that we've been covering. I've got, just the video is just so long. I love Satan and I worship the Antichrist, is what that Arabic on the side of the building says.
I do have a question about this woman's insanity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's all kinds of things about Islam that I don't know, and Muslim history. But is there? This is going to sound horrible, but is there some particular reason that she's saying that Muslims have sex with goats?
It's a favorite popular trope.
I mean, why not camels?
Have you ever seen a camel? They're huge.
It's a popular Orientalist trope. I mean,
it's just some stupid thing that some idiot said.
It's literally something Orientalists have first Orientalists said it about Jews. They have sex with goats and kill Christian children. It's the whole thing is it's centered around bestiality and the goat being the mark of the animal of the devil and the head of the goat and the Baphomet and all that. It's all a way to try to link Muslims into intimacy with Satan, like the woman saying that the Arabic written on the side of the mosque, which was most likely the name of the mosque, written in Arabic, it says, "I love Satan and worship the Antichrist." At one point,
I'm so sure it does.
Yeah.
What a lunatic.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure that Masih al-Dajjal is not written anywhere on the side of that mosque. Says, "Get off of there. You don't know what filth's on there." Speaking about the ICC funeral procession van that her son had climbed onto to peer inside. "Dead Muslims has been on there. Yeah, goats. And all their sex goats in there." A few moments later, a man stepped out of one of the buildings on the campus. The group's dog ran up to greet him, and the man leaned down to pet it. "Stay away from our dog! Don't eat him!" Gonzalez shouted at the man. Hey, don't touch, don't pet, no touch. "Peanut, get back here," she said, snapping her fingers.
Peanut.
"They eat you. Come on, they eat you. Get away from them."
So she was just, throwing crap at a wall to
For
hoping
real,
that
yeah,
something
yeah.
stuck. I mean, just every random thing she could think
Every
of. to try to slander
every
someone.
random racist thing she'd ever heard in her life is Muslims today. It's like a joke that I used to tell about, like in Florida, if you ever run into a prejudiced person, you don't really need to tell like a lot of these people from the forest where you're from, because it's all Puerto Rican to them. You could be from Jordan or Guatemala, and to them you're Puerto Rican. It's all Puerto Rican to
Good
them.
Lord, don't tell any Puerto Ricans that
It's
either.
black. No, it's true though. Like Puerto Ricans know,
I know.
that there are people in Florida that are like that. There's people come in 3 flavors to your average Florida cracker: white, black, and Puerto Rican. And
Which
everything
itself is probably considered a racist statement when you really think about it.
Everything that's not white or black is just automatically Puerto Rican to them, and I'm sure like that's basically her brain here is like it's if it's a horrible racist thing to think about someone, it's Muslims today. Particularly being as Muslims don't eat dogs, because dogs have canines. They follow a diet almost exactly like the Levitical diet. The only difference is we can eat more seafood than Jews can, and we can eat rabbit, and we can eat camel, and we can eat horse, and Jews can't. And that's really basically the differences right there in a nutshell. The differences, and so if a Jew can't eat it, neither can we. She began to, says the woman Gonzalez began to berate the man with slurs, saying Islam was anti-America, that pedophiles run deep in the local community, that we, the people, were coming after them and they would expose them.
That's right there is what I'm talking about. We the people. That's the boldness. That's the Trump element. The feeling that there is some backing of the government or of the president in what they're doing.
The "we the people" thing has been the moniker of the Tea Party right-wing psychopaths since 2010. They walked around. I'm sorry, brother. Go if you look at any of the pictures of the Knoxville Tea Party groups when they were fighting to drive me out of they were literally trying to burn the Tea Party down, if that's what it took to get the Muslim that was there out of it. And they were all wearing "We the People" t-shirts. That "We the People" thing, man, that is nothing new. That started in 2010 and has continued on till today. Sincere Gonzalez screams at the man, "You guys encourage marriages to 9-year-olds and rape goats." She then mentioned to her young daughter who was with her, "Look, my daughter, she's a Sharia bride, you sickos," she shouted before moving on to something else. She continued shouting at the man. The video eventually ended midway through her confrontation with him. In another video posted live to Facebook later that day, like I said, there were multiple videos put up. She started asking her young children about Sharia, and it's the Islamic concept that has been the basis of lots of conspiracy theories in the anti-Muslim fringe lately. "At my age," the girl said to the camera, "old men are allowed to marry young girls at my age." "See that? Good. I'm glad you know," Gonzalez told her daughter. "Keep your children informed and aware so that they don't get sucked into the evils that lurk around in our communities and our backyards." "They'll rape anything," the girl chimed in. "They'll rape anything," Gonzalez repeated back to her. Video of the incident.
These kids are not even like 8 or 9. They're it looks like they're between maybe ages 3 and 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was about to remark on. I don't mean to switch the subject or anything, but it reminds me very much of this lunatic Christian woman that was on YouTube and had her daughter just saying all kinds of insane crap about Jewish people and gay people. And the daughter was like 6 years old, had no idea what she was even talking about. She was just parroting this nonsense that she had been brainwashed into believing by her mother. Same thing going on here. I mean, it's a hate issue and not a religious issue. It's just eerily similar to me.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So she is a well-known member of PMAZ, the Patriot Movement of Arizona. The group is trying to distance itself from them after the actions began to spread online. In a Facebook post Monday, the group states, recently 2 persons who had previously been affiliated with us have crossed a line that violates our principles. They continue to show up where we are, but they do not represent us. They are not a part of us. PMAZ stands firmly against racism, bigotry, and anyone who harasses people based on sexual orientation. Those representing PMAZ are at all times law-abiding. The actions of one bad apple make us all look bad. It's extremely disappointing, and while we cannot tell anyone how to behave, we need to have a clear separation and call out those bad behaviors. So, I mean, that at least is, that makes me feel a little better that at least there was some kind of like, we don't really want to be associated with you anymore. So we're going to do some libertarian drama. And
why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, March 16th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.46 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,320 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $20, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,204. Antiwar.com reports U.S. tensions with Russia are looking to get worse yet again as the Trump administration on Thursday announced a new round of sanctions against Russian organizations and individuals. Administration officials said it was retaliation for meddling in the 2016 election and malicious cyber attacks. The sanctions hit 3 organizations and 13 individuals. Those targeted were accused of spreading disinformation and propaganda to promote the election of President Trump. Russian officials say they believe the move was a political one. Congressional hawk
hawks eager to target Russia early and often were quick to criticize the latest sanctions as insufficient. Congressmen in both parties say the administration needs to do far more to punish Russia. In the meantime, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabakov confirmed that Russia is preparing to impose its own retaliatory measures against the United States in response to the latest sanctions. That's unsurprising, as the U.S. and Russia have been hitting one another with tit-for-tat sanctions for months on end now, each side determined not to let the other have the last laugh, and subsequently responding to one another's responses, keeping relations growing ever worse.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports the Department of Justice announced Thursday a Japanese company, Toyobo, and its U.S. subsidiary agreed to pay $66 million in a settlement with the U.S. government for selling defective bulletproof vests to federal, state, local, and tribal law enforcement agencies. Between at least 2001 and 2005, Toyobo knew that its bulletproof vest material, Zylon, degraded quickly in normal heat and humidity, which made it unfit for use in bulletproof vests, according to the settlement. Despite this knowledge, the company actively marketed the material for use in bulletproof vests, and in 2003, when Second Chance Body Armor recalled some of its vests containing Zylon, Toyobo tried to influence other companies to keep selling their Zylon-containing vests. The controversy over the effectiveness of Zylon led to a study by the National Institute of Justice that found that more than 50% of Zylon-containing bulletproof vests could not stop a bullet, which led to the official decertification of the material. The settlement also resolves a lawsuit against Toyobo filed by Dr. Aaron Westrick, a former Second Chance employee. Westrick filed a whistleblower complaint under the False Claims Act, which allows him to sue on behalf of the government and share in any recovery. As part of the settlement, he will receive $5.775 million.
In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake Security Company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
Reuters reports a newly erected pedestrian bridge spanning several lanes of traffic collapsed at Florida International University on Thursday, killing 4 people, according to Miami-Dade County Fire Chief Dave Downey. Emergency personnel with sniffer dogs searched for signs of life amid the wreckage of concrete slabs and twisted metal after the 950-ton bridge crushed vehicles on one of the busiest roads in South Florida. Officials and doctors told a news conference Thursday night at least 8 vehicles were trapped in the wreckage of the bridge and at least 10 people had been transported to hospitals. Witnesses told media the vehicles were stopped at a traffic light when the bridge collapsed on top of them around 1:30 p.m. Eastern. At one point, police requested television helicopters leave the area so rescuers could hear for any sounds of people crying for help from beneath the collapsed structure. Complicating the rescue efforts was the uncertainty about the integrity of the bridge, parts of which remained off the ground, much of it inclined. According to a post on the university's website, the 174-foot-long bridge connects the university with the city of Sweetwater and was installed on Saturday in 6 hours over the 8-lane highway. Students at the university are currently on spring break vacation. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
In Baltimore, the streets have gotten safer thanks to the success of the new Permanent Daylight Initiative, which aims to prevent crime by illuminating the entire city 24 hours a day using high-powered floodlights.
It's just that it's so bright all the time, even in the rain.
City officials say there have been 0 violent crimes since the start of the program, except for one man who vandalized the light by throwing his body off a building into it. Now let's set our crosshairs on to Mountain View, California, where Gmail servers were down for nearly 2 hours today. In an online statement, the company said, "Tremble before Google. With the mere flip of a switch, we can bring you to your knees." After reestablishing service this afternoon, Google changed its logo and released a statement saying if not appeased with a 20% increase in Google Chrome downloads by the next vernal equinox, they will take back their generous gift unto mankind of colored conversation labeling. All right, you can take off your helmet. You have survived the news blitz.
This is the Onion News Network. The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Hold. Hold. Hold.
You better hold on for dear life, because it's time for the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com on the Call to Freedom.
That's right. Welcome to the Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. And you know what? We're going to switch things around. We're not going to do the Crypto Hour this hour. We're going to be doing something a little bit different. I have two boys that are in school right now, and they are performing at the Keene State College in about an hour. So we're going to do something a little bit different. Instead of doing the scheduled Crypto Hour, we're going to move things up a little bit, and it's time for everybody's favorite segment of the show, the Libertarian Drama of the Week.
Oh, yes. I guess we are giving away some WAN this Crypto Hour.
As always.
And these are the days of our lives.
All right, so we've got two contenders this week for Libertarian Drama. One story I'm like, yes, we have to cover this story in Libertarian Drama, if for no other reason than to make sure it gets some coverage. And the other one, well, it's just the same old stupid crap. From drama.
It's about 100 WA story.
Right.
Well, no, I think the routineness of it warrants a substantially higher amount of WA than 100. I mean, the fact that it is so passé and tedious and repeated.
And of course, somebody found a reason to be you saw my thing that I put the other day. Contrarian, noun, see Libertarian Party member. Because that's what it like to me. This looked like last week's Libertarian Drama of the Week looked contrarian. This week, last week it was the Lib Sox being contrarian against Josh Smith, and this week it's Joshua Smith and the Mises Caucus and the Bordertarian crowd being contrarian against Nick Sarwark. And it's just like you said, it's just so tedious and like, oh my God, you jackass, you know what they meant. Would you just shut up? Can we not just say something publicly without one of you getting your panties in a bunch?
I mean, that's exactly it. And
come over to my house.
Libertarianism.
Come over to my house. We have a bidet. You can use it to wash the sand out of your vagina, and we can move forward. But this comes from Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds from Dramatarians. Says there's a bit of a kerfuffle when the Libertarian Party put out a statement about the student walkout to protest school shootings. Well, I felt it was clear, at least. The intention of the post was to support protesting and freedom of speech and plug the party. Many people thought it was, at best, unclear and at worst, a pro-gun control statement. I don't think anyone really thought we were suddenly for gun restrictions, but hey, it's a cool way to complain about the establishment or whatever. Many candidates for internal office posted reactions to our or alternative messages for the youth who were out protesting. We found Arvin Vora, Alicia Dern, Joe Paschal, Alex Merced, Joshua Smith, and Matt Kuhnel, along with Steve Sheets, all putting out statements. If you're running for a position in the LNC and released or would like to release a statement about this topic and you weren't included, please comment here. So from the Libertarian Party, it was, to all the students walking out today, we admire you for standing up for political change. Based on past results, old party politicians will ignore your pleas for change as soon as the news cycle moves on and the cameras are turned off. If you want to make real political change, join the Libertarian Party and send a clear message that politicians can't ignore since it hits them in the votes.
Now, could someone please tell me what in the actual text of that statement merited any kind of dramatarian reaction?
That they didn't explicitly say, but you're wrong, we like guns, and we don't want you protesting against
That's
them.
what you do once you're talking to them. You don't know what all of them individually were protesting for.
Stop acting in our drama time.
Oh, yeah. My bad.
Remember,
I gotta put some. Put some wah. We don't have a swear jar here. We have a fact jar. I've got to put some wah in the fact jar.
Yeah, we are in a state of suspended reality where everything is offensive. All right, so moving right along. Now that post was actually removed.
I mean, they had to say, right, that they had to say we are pro-guns.
Mm-hmm.
We are pro or anti. They had to say we are both pro-border and anti-border. I mean, obviously, otherwise, someone's going to get their panties in a twist.
While they're at it, why not just include a mini debate on the abortion plank of the platform and see how that goes for you?
You see, that would be good. That would be good.
Okay.
Because otherwise, they're pro-life. And if they don't say that they're pro-choice,
we do have some responses here, if you guys will hold on. Joshua Smith, who was one of our winners for Drama of the Week last week, and is now in the running again this week, says, had I been chair of the LNC today, the release put out on their Facebook congratulating kids for walking out in protest of Second Amendment rights would have been something like this. Quote, while we support your right to protest, please remember that today you are protesting against a right of others, a right that's inherently in place to protect the very right you are exercising. When you realize how important the Second Amendment is to the First Amendment, come check out lp.org.
And not a moment sooner.
And
stay away.
And let's find solutions to problems that don't include creating more problems for nonviolent people. End quote. It really is that simple.
And he would have gotten away with it if it hadn't have been for you darn kids.
I mean, I love how he tries to seize the drama as a mechanism for promoting his LNC campaign.
Yes.
I kind of like Joe.
Awesome.
Okay, I kind of like Joe Paschal's response. After the gun debate and school walkouts today, I decided that because we homeschool, to sit down and watch Red Dawn, the original, with my son. What better way to explain why we have the Second Amendment than adding visual aids? Hate me if you want. Okay, now I can respect that because, that's not a part.
It's too respectable for this segment.
Exactly,
frankly.
It shouldn't be a part of Dramatarians. He's totally not going to be. You're not, Joe. I like you, Alex Merced. I don't have any malice toward the controversial post today. Anchor doesn't do anything. Working harder does. As much as I would like, of course, I would of course have liked it to be clearer in what it was trying and not trying to say. Applaud civil disobedience without being vague on our position on self-defense. Mistakes are made.
Is so vague.
Sometimes we aren't as clear as in what we want to say as we'd like to be. What happens next, I don't think should be condemnation and indignation, but growth. When mistakes happen, the first response shouldn't be, who did this and where's a bus for me to throw them underneath of? But how we can do better the next time. We can't change the past, but we can learn from it. And in that, I've made these two images that I think express what we stand for while appealing to the frustrations of others that others have with the status quo.
Memes.
Feel free to use them as you wish. Point is, group hug. Arvin's is longer than I'm willing to read.
Yeah, man, his was long as crap.
Yeah, I'm not reading a book, brother. I love you and all that, but I'm not reading your book today. So anyway, if you want to weigh in on this, give us a call, 603-283-6160, or you can come on LRN.FM on Skype, or you can call in via our Discord chat. We'll be right back here on the Call to Freedom with more of the Libertarian Drama of the Week in just a moment.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
The three most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Toll House Morsels, helping you create special moments and memories your family will cherish forever. Visit us at tollhouse.com. You may bake for birthdays and holidays, but why stop there? Sweeten up the rest of the year by designating monthly dessert days. Treat your family to one of their favorites or surprise them with something new. Either way, you'll create a tradition everyone will love. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
The easiest thing in the world for a reader to do is to stop reading, according to the late, great Barney Kilgore, who became managing editor of the Wall Street Journal in 1941 and grew the paper's circulation from 33,000 to 1 million by the 60s. And he'd be pleased to know that his paper is one of the few that people now pay to read online. Someone else pre-internet who realized that attention is fragile? Motown Records founder Berry Gordy. In the early 60s, when his label dominated the charts, he'd bring a dozen real people into the Hitsville, USA studios and audition songs. And he'd ask, if you were down to your last dollar, would you spend it on this record or would you buy a sandwich? Today, attention span seems like an oxymoron. For tips on cutting through the clutter, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com, on the call to freedom on LRN.fm. أنتم تستمعون إلى The Crypto Hour، يقدم إليكم برعاية Helium.com على برنامج نداء للحرية على LRN.FM.
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. Are you new? Are you new to the crypto world? Do you not want to spend the whole day reading candle? Do you not even know what a candlegraph is? I mean, who does? Well, let me tell you about Helium.com. It's a savings accelerator. And the way it works is they've created a bot that watches the values between regular fiats and cryptos. Then it moves your money when the timing is just right. You use your Uphold account and fill that up with a bank card or your own digital wallet. And you just set it and forget it. It's kind of like a crock pot for crypto. Helium, it lets your money move you. So go over to heliumwithane.com/CTF and get a great deal for being a Call to Freedom listener. That's HELEUM.com/CTF. And now getting back here to everybody's favorite part of the show, this post, the Libertarian Party put out a post and said, hey, if you are protesting, big ups to protesting, but the politicians don't really care what you have to say. And somehow that got everybody's panties in a bunch. But Matt Kuehnel, who was on the show the other day with Joshua Smith, he also had a couple of posts in relation to this. Steve, sorry, yours is just kind of boring. And Alicia, yours is just an internal monologue. So, and Arvin, I love you, brother, but you wrote a book. And I'm sorry, it's an 8-minute segment. And it'll take me that long just to read what you wrote. But Kuehnel says here, apparently it's the cool thing to critique this post. So here goes. We should always encourage civil disobedience. We should offer them the ability to vote by abolishing the age restriction. We should be offering them the freedom to carry, to protect themselves from fellow students, teachers, and hall monitors.
Gotta get those hall monitors.
And we should be offering them freedom from institutions. Hashtag everyone gets a vote. Hashtag arm the students. Hashtag skip school 420 blaze. Then there's another post.
Had to get that in there too.
Right. And there's another post shortly after says, I'm really proud of the students for walking out of school today. I'll be even prouder if they piss off their adult cohorts and never return. Now that's good. That's the best one all day. But
that's the one we need.
Being the good one means you don't win any WAN.
He should be good to go on WAN for last week.
Yeah.
That should last him a lifetime.
Unless he spent it all already or transferred it into something more valuable. And then let's get him on the phone and find out how he did it.
All right, so who freaked out the most? Was it Liberty Fake Out or Republic 71? Those are basically the same website, by the way.
My nominee for biggest freak out would actually be Michael Heiss from the Mises Caucus.
Really?
Oh boy, what did he do?
Oh, I got directly into it with him. I'll go find that while you guys talk.
What about you, Aria? Who do you think had the biggest freak out? You Liberty Fake Out?
Well, I don't think any of them really freaked out.
Oh, he unfriended me.
Oh, wow. But I think they're all retarded and should probably shut up.
I got I got defriended by Llewellyn Humza day before yesterday for the argument that I made in the first hour about those ladies not being because of Trump, because idiots were doing the same thing 10 years ago.
You got unfriended today?
No, like 2 days ago. Michael Heiss, huh? Mike, really? I wonder.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah.
So it makes it a lot harder to find the post where you got into a little tiff with somebody when the little tiff was enough for them to defriend you.
Well, you know how those hop people are.
See, here's one. Absolutely disgraceful that the LP would support leftist brainwashed students. Here it is.
Oh my God!
Wait, it gets better.
Blow it more out of proportion.
It gets better. Okay, absolutely disgraceful that the LP would support leftist brainwashed students disrupting the educational environment. That's where I jumped in. I was like, what's wrong? Yeah, I was like, what's wrong with disrupting the educational environment? And he was like, blurgity blurg dorg de dorg.
Burnhammer.
Burnhammer.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, what did he actually say to that in response?
I can't find it. He
you
deleted
can no longer
it.
find it. Okay.
No, because like what caused me to post about it?
Disgraceful.
Will, you posted on it, and when I commented, it was right underneath that. And here we go.
Somebody find a satanic quote for him.
Here we go. My quote was, disrupting the educational environment should be a plank of the LP platform, not an accusation of misconduct. That's what I said.
Reply.
And he said, we don't want to disrupt education. We want to disrupt state monopoly over education.
Well, yeah, but if all we have right now is state monopoly over it, then the best way of, enhancing education is to disrupt that monopoly. I mean, that boggles my... We don't want to interrupt this one thing that exists.
Here we go.
We just want to interrupt it, and it's just this one thing that exists. That's kind of what monopoly means, you idiot.
He also says, I bet you wouldn't support this if it was a walkout to reinstitute segregation or something. Okay.
Oh, my Lord.
What, you can support people's right to protest without supporting their position. Do these idiots not understand that? Sorry, I'm facting in the drama.
No, it's okay. Since, I facted all over his drama.
No facting in the drama.
So anyway, but that was basically my thing, was like the whole reason that I support them, even though I don't support gun control, and the reason I think it was smart for the LP to say something was, don't we want these kids rebelling against the state education monopoly? Like, encourage them to rebel.
But they're not rebelling. These kids are not rebelling.
That's a good point.
This is the teachers aren't.
Yeah, in some places they are. In some places they aren't. I agree with you. Like, it's very, and I posted about that today. It's like, okay,
it's like an approved protest.
Exactly. Like, there are places where the school has definitely co-opted it and made it their own message and has encouraged it, and that's a different thing.
Like them spending $100,000 in Baltimore to bus the kids to D.C.?
Yep, exactly. So this is not the age of rebellion among teenagers. This is teenagers doing what they think adults are going to let them do or reward them for doing.
And
That's
letting
the
themselves be used as political.
Free Talk Live.
When a deer approaches a marijuana plant in the woods and nibbles off one of the buds, is that sad? Is that deer living a sad state of existence?
I have no idea. I've never heard of an animal eating something that would
Christy,
make them,
that's because you have no idea what you're talking about. You don't know one thing about cannabis. You don't know anything about it.
I understand that you want to partake of that drug.
Oh,
and
I do. Trust me.
Listen, I understand that you should have the right to do that.
Oh, thank you.
Where it's legal. Where it's legal.
Since the beginning of time, human beings and other animals have been altering their state of consciousness. Believe it or not, it's not just a human being thing.
Robins eat elderberries in the fall and get drunk on them.
Yes, so this is a common thing amongst the various different creatures of this earth.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern. Live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to SaveItPurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can do that and you have to leave here. You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually.
Whoa,
Hey,
who do you think you
excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. This is...
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you scared me.
What
am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom.
تستمتعون إلى The Crypto Hour على برنامج نداء للحرية.
What just happened?
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And y'all should come up here and see us. You know what? When I get out of here, I think I'm going to go down to Local Burger. I'm going to get a all-beef hot dog that is breaded with crushed Captain Crunch, then covered in buffalo wing sauce and crumbled blue cheese. I'm going to spend $4 and dash on that. And then I'm going to buy my kids dinner. We're going to have some great French fries, fresh cooked, locally made sodas. And then tomorrow, before we do the birthday party, I'm going to take my van over here to the local shop at Steve Wilder's and get my oil change done. I'm going to pay for that with Bitcoin Cash. Because, well, that's what it's like when you live in a place like Keene, New Hampshire, where we have businesses that accept cryptocurrency all over the place. Now, we've been talking about libertarian drama of the week, and, well, there's another story that is in the running this week. This story I'm particularly interested in. I love candidates who love to troll. You know what I'm saying? Aria, this guy's right up your alley, too, I think. This guy has audacious libertarian tattooed on the underside of his shaft. I'm telling you.
Gross.
I'm telling you, man. Listen to this, okay? This comes from Michigan. It's a story about a libertarian president, a libertarian candidate for the Senate with balls of solid brass.
It's a controversial campaign by a local man running for the U.S. Senate.
Brian Ellison, representing the Libertarian Party, wants to arm the homeless. Fox News' Randy Wembley joining us live in Midtown. And Randy, one of the first thoughts that comes to mind is why?
Yeah, according to the candidate, the argument goes that homeless people are more likely to be victimized by crime and don't have access to weapons to defend themselves. So this candidate supposedly wants to change that by arming them. U.S. Senate hopeful Brian Ellison is aiming to put shotguns in the hands of the homeless. He plans to raise $10,000 to provide 20 homeless people with weapons as well as training. His reasoning?
So they're significantly more likely to be victims of a crime. So, you know, they certainly don't have the means to protect themselves. You and I do. If you wanted to own a gun, you could. I certainly do. But they don't have the means to do that. And so they're just easy targets.
It's true that the homeless are more likely to be victims than the population at large. But I think giving them shotguns is not going to help them one little bit.
Carmi Finn is with the gun control group Moms Demand Action. She says some homeless people don't have IDs, so how could they get background checks? And what about those who struggle with addiction or a mental illness?
Also the issue of safe storage. If you do not have a home, you don't have a gun safe. And you don't have any place to safely store that gun to protect yourself from shootings or the people around you, or to keep it from being stolen by other homeless people or other criminals who are on the street.
Many would make the argument.
I guess she's never heard of a bolero or a holster or a shoulder strap or, like, what's that joke?
I mean, a safe is literally the worst place to keep a gun to use for defensive purposes.
For real, like it's gonna, they club you to death as your.
Excuse me, burglar, while I take 45 minutes to figure out what my freaking combination is.
Because I just woke up in a stupor, half awake, trying in a panic, trying to get a hold of my shotgun.
Well, Arya, those
That's
darn
why mine
homeless
is on the headboard of my bed.
Right.
Those darn homeless people, Arya, they just need to save up some money to buy biometric locks.
What's the?
But you know.
I
don't
10,
like
000,
the idea here.
The $10,000 pyramid. What's it? The brain. Man, it was a good joke until my brain shut off halfway through it.
Okay, Arya. But before I say let's go back to Arya, I want to make sure Arya's not about to fact all over the drama.
I'm not. Has there been drama yet?
No, we're just.
I tagged you in some of it.
Well, yeah, but. You know, it's socialism. You know, let homeless people, you know, acquire guns, sure, and not have to register and all that crap. But I mean, if you want to donate a gun to a homeless person, that's fine.
That's what he's doing. He's raising money to pay for them. I
mean, just don't use the government to do it. I just wanted to make that distinction.
Oh yeah, he's not.
Well,
at least he's saying principle.
My anarchist mind doesn't know how to handle the idea of the government giving people weapons. I don't know how to feel about that.
That's where your anarchist mind runs straight up against the constitutionalist mind, because that's what many of the founders thought we should do. And they wanted it so that they would have, you know, a force to call upon in case of hostile foreign governments or brown people revolting. That was another thing they wanted the militia for, but that's another show. So I think we've gotten
onto this lunatic, Lene Ridley.
Well, I wanted to read some of the more standard comments first. They kind of echo what the lady in the video was saying. Patricia Fleming says, "Oh my gracious, a great number of the homeless are mentally ill and not being treated. This is a stupid, S-T-U-P-U-D, idea with epic consequences." Jeffrey Sennenfelder, "This guy is nuttier than a squirrel. Arming the homeless, many of whom are mentally ill, is stupid."
Okay, mentally ill is a perspective.
Martin Love says he needs to be put in a mental institution, that being Brian Ellison, and never own a weapon. In my Judge Mathis voice, are you high today? Let's see. Here's somebody who, instead of using that money for guns, why don't you open up a little restaurant that's just for the homeless? That wouldn't last very long. Here's the winning comment from Lene Ridley. "Seems to me Trump trying to start a war between everybody. Let me get my strap then, because I can already vision how this going. Trump ain't none but the devil, period. Armed teachers, armed homeless people, just people armed for what?"
This is some liberal white college-age chick, by the way.
No, she's not white.
She looks white.
And I don't know what's wrong with your monitor, Lene. I have known. I was on.
Okay, yeah, she's not white.
Yeah,
you're correct.
There was a white girl named Lene on my mock trial team, and the judges always had trouble figuring out which one she was, because if we put her on the same bench as a black female attorney, they'd assume that was Lene.
I think it's funny that the very first public post on her wall is, "What does your name mean in the Bible?"
In the Bible, your name means none of these letters are available in Hebrew. Lynae. So
are they not?
Y is. I'm being a jerk. Like, we shouldn't make fun of her name.
The word Lene certainly isn't in the Bible. I'm confident of that.
Oh, wait. And then under her post, somebody's response to her, by the way, said that she was stupid because, quote, Brian Ellison is a Democrat. Do your research before you post. And Brian's official, Brian Ellison for U.S. Senate campaign page responded, no, Brian Ellison is not a Democrat. He's a libertarian. To which Lenny responded, LMAO, rather or not it still being Trump, it's all a setup for war. Watch. Is someone smoking crack? Another commenter says. No, just a little weed. I'm not fin argue. Okay, anyway. So he called the drama here is not really the libertarians causing the drama. It's people causing drama in response to a libertarian's comments. I don't know how we distribute the WAN for that.
I don't either.
Is WAN a libertarian exclusive currency, or can Lene Ridley from Michigan own WAN?
I don't know. I'll have to talk about that when we're on the break, and we'll get back into the story about hobos with shotguns when we get back in just a moment.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement, and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
You are listening to Call to Freedom's Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार के क्रिप्टो आवर को, जिसके प्रस्तुत करता है Helium.com।
Back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, well, this is the last segment you're going to have me kick around today. We're going to be going over here to Keene State College. My little boys are doing some kind of a school performance, and I'm going to be going and watching them do that. So I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Tom and Aria for the last hour. But before we get there, I want to get back into this. We've got just 2 minutes left in this news story about the candidate from Michigan, the Libertarian candidate from Michigan, who wants to arm the homeless. Yes, that you heard that right. Michigan, you're going to get hobos with shotguns.
If you really care about the homeless, you would be working really hard to get them off the street and not so much to put guns in their hands. What do you say to that argument?
Well, I think the implication is that that everybody wants to be off the street or everybody wants to work. I think some people just want to be left alone.
This has really bad idea written all over it.
Ellison's call to arms come as teens urge people to lay them down. Thousands took part in school walkouts Wednesday, a demonstration supporting more gun control legislation. Meanwhile, state lawmakers are working on bills that would allow teachers to carry guns on school grounds. I reached out to some police officers to get their take on this idea. One of them said that this money would be better spent feeding or sheltering the homeless. And then there's the question that was brought up during the piece, how would they store these weapons? So some big questions. Not sure we'll probably get answers to those. Huel, Taryn?
But you make some important points there, Randy. But what are pro-gunners saying about this?
Yeah, I reached out to Rick Ector from the Firearm Academy. He's a firearm instructor here in Detroit. He's also a frequent guest, as you guys know, on Let It Rip. He says that while homeless people have the right to keep and bear arms, exercising that right is obviously pretty hard because you're homeless. He says he would support something like arming the homeless and getting them permanent housing.
Well, certainly a lot to think about, and I'm sure a lot of mixed reaction, Randy. Thank you for that report.
All right, well, whether we give him wah or not, I think Brian deserves an official call to freedom.
It's over 8,000
for his troll level on that right there.
Oh yeah, and the part where it went way over 8,000 was when he said, "Well, maybe some people don't."
When it went way over what?
When it went over
9,000.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 9. I
Yes.
thought the clip said 8, but
No.
I'm pretty sure it said 9.
It said 9.
Okay, well it went over 10,000 when he said maybe some people want to be homeless and maybe they just want to be left alone and not have to work. Many thousand. It's over 1,006.
Well, isn't Arm the Homeless kind of a troll calling card of libertarians anyway?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm almost positive I've heard it before, going back years.
You've heard it from your friend Matt Cannell.
Yeah. Arm the homeless, arm the students.
Over 9,000.
So.
Arm the dramatarians.
Yes, let's arm the dramatarians. There we go.
Wow, yes. Maybe some of the dramatarians want to be homeless and not work.
Like the lip soaks.
Why, yeah.
Well, they don't want to be homeless. They just want to steal everybody's houses.
But did y'all catch they managed to get, like, think about the level of consensus that he managed to build, because he actually managed to get someone from a far-right group to say that we should find housing for the homeless so that they have a place to put their guns. And people say that libertarians are, like, all divisive and stuff. Look at that. Look at that level of consensus. He just brought together the alt-right and the Marxists. Get housing for all, free housing for all the homeless so they have somewhere to store their guns. Boom. Done. Liberty maximized, except for the part where we spent government money to do it.
Boom. So, just in case, I'm on my way out of here anyway. So, just in case anyone was wondering why I disappeared the last segment, I got one of those calls, you know, those phone calls that you get from the jail, where somebody that's like, someone at the such and such county jail would like to talk to you. And there's like that 10-minute long, you know, recorded thing.
Which you're being billed for every second of, by the way.
And, well, not me, because I tried to accept the call, but it didn't let me. I tried to accept the call, and it wouldn't let me. So I'm calling my mom, like, hey, you're not in jail right now, are you? Because the only person that I know of that's down there that has my phone number that would be calling me is my mom.
From jail, it's your mom.
Well, no, just in general. Like, there's nobody, like, no, I don't think, because I've changed phones recently, I don't think anybody that's down in Tennessee has my new number except for my mom. So, like, I was like, did mom get arrested? What? So I call my mom. I'm like, so, hey, what's going on? She's like, oh, don't worry, your nephew shot somebody.
The don't worry part of that is absolutely Will's mom.
Yeah.
I have met this lady. That is what she would say to preface X just shot Y. Was don't worry.
Don't worry, it's just Lee. He shot somebody. You remember how he was saying how when he got out of prison last year that he wasn't gonna be he was gonna get his stuff together and he wasn't getting in no more trouble, and well, he got in a fight downtown and shot somebody in the chest. I was like, dead or alive? She's like, I don't know. Katie didn't tell me that part. Katie is my sister. Oh, my older sister. She says, I don't know. Katie didn't tell me that part. So, yeah. Mike, for the Discord folks, Mike is all over the country, and he is currently gone until April, as far as we know, and maybe even longer. He was at the crypto event in Austin last week, and the last time I saw him, I saw him touch down. Before that was in China, and then before that it was in Manila. So Mike's just a jet-setting fella, you know what I'm saying? So that's why you've not seen him around here lately. Is well, he's out there trying to get it done. So this guy with the southern accent, the milk fast guy with the southern accent. I have no idea what you're even talking about, decentralized internet. Anyway, yeah. So, Lord have mercy. But yeah, my nephew, who is a habitual prison inmate. This is what this is what happens when when people who shouldn't be allowed to have kids have kids.
Ouch. I think you just said that about your own
sister.
What?
Oh yeah, Katie totally knows that I feel that way. Like, some people shouldn't breed, and your name should have been at the top of that list. My sister totally knows that's how I feel about her.
As long as you're honest with your family, even if the things
She's
you
not
say,
allowed to know where I live. Like, she hasn't been to my house since 2009. Because I don't allow her to know where I actually physically live. Because if she knows, then at some point during some time, she's going to mention to one of my nephews where I live and something that I have that's of value. And then I'm going to come home one day and I'm going to have a window missing or a hole where my front door used to be. Then I would have to go murder them. And I don't feel like being a habitual prison inmate like they are.
that is editorializing. He is not announcing any premeditation or plans on the air.
Yes.
The attorney in the room.
They're both in jail. They're both in jail. One of them is in prison for the next 11 years for a... Oh, okay. You probably remember this, Tom. Do you know... you remember that big scam that was going on in Knoxville where they were stealing baby formula and reselling it? My nephew was like
what a way to go to break.
My nephew was like the ringleader of that whole thing and got 11 years for it. And then his younger brother is the one that shot somebody. So like, this is just them. It's a normal thing for them. You think libertarian drama is bad? Come to my house on Christmas. We'll be back in.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, March 16th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.46 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,320 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $20, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,204. Antiwar.com reports U.S. tensions with Russia are looking to get worse yet again as the Trump administration on Thursday announced a new round of sanctions against Russian organizations and individuals. Administration officials said it was retaliation for meddling in the 2016 election and malicious cyber attacks. The sanctions hit 3 organizations and 13 individuals. Those targeted were accused of spreading disinformation and propaganda to promote the election of President Trump. Russian officials say they believe the move was a political one. Congressional hawks, eager to target Russia early and often, were quick to criticize the latest sanctions as insufficient. Congressmen in both parties say the administration needs to do far more to punish Russia. In the meantime, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabakov confirmed that Russia is preparing to impose its own retaliatory measures against the United States in response to the latest sanctions. That's unsurprising, as the U.S. and Russia have been hitting one another with tit-for-tat sanctions for months on end now, each side determined not to let the other have the last laugh, and subsequently responding to one another's responses, keeping relations growing ever worse.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports the Department of Justice announced Thursday a Japanese company, Toyobo, and its U.S. subsidiary agreed to pay $66 million in a settlement with the U.S. government for selling defective bulletproof vests to federal, state, local, and tribal law enforcement agencies. Between at least 2001 and 2005, Toyobo knew that its bulletproof vest material, Zylon, degraded quickly in normal heat and humidity, which made it unfit for use in bulletproof vests, according to the settlement. Despite this knowledge, the company actively marketed the material for use in bulletproof vests, and in 2003, when Second Chance Body Armor recalled some of its vests containing Zylon, Toyobo tried to influence other companies to keep selling their Zylon-containing vests. The controversy over the effectiveness of Zylon led to a study by the National Institute of Justice that found that more than 50% of Zylon-containing bulletproof vests could not stop a bullet, which led to the official decertification of the material. The settlement also resolves the lawsuit against Toyobo filed by Dr. Aaron Westrick, a former Second Chance employee. Westrick filed a whistleblower complaint under the False Claims Act, which allows him to sue on behalf of the government and share in any recovery. As part of the settlement, he will receive $5.775 million.
In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake Security Company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
Reuters reports a newly erected pedestrian bridge spanning several lanes of traffic collapsed at Florida International University on Thursday, killing 4 people, according to Miami-Dade County Fire Chief Dave Downey. Emergency personnel with sniffer dogs searched for signs of life amid the wreckage of concrete slabs and twisted metal after the 950-ton bridge crushed vehicles on one of the busiest roads in South Florida. Officials and doctors told a news conference Thursday night at least 8 vehicles were trapped in the wreckage of the bridge and at least 10 people had been transported to hospitals. Witnesses told media the vehicles were stopped at a traffic light when the bridge collapsed on top of them around 1:30 p.m. Eastern. At one point, police requested television helicopters leave the area so rescuers could hear for any sounds of people crying for help from beneath the collapsed structure. Complicating the rescue efforts was the uncertainty about the integrity of the bridge, parts of which remained off the ground, much of it inclined. According to a post on the university's website, the 174-foot-long bridge connects the university with the city of Sweetwater and was installed on Saturday in 6 hours over the 8-lane highway. Students at the university are currently on spring break vacation. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
The zebra of the plains is perpetually hunted by a myriad of merciless predators. With no purpose other than to feed monsters, the zebra spends its entire life standing around awaiting a violent death. They are nature's ultimate prey. The zebra paces the earth, patiently going through the motions of life knowing that at any moment it will end in a sudden shock of pain and brutality. With its black and white stripes serving as an ostentatious beacon to any nearby predators, the zebra whiles away its time before gruesome elimination. Zebra wait on the pantry shelf that is the African plain before something finds it and, at last, remembers to eat it.
This is the Onion News Network.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Ah, yes, that's the Spirit of Radio by Rush. Will is still here with us in spirit, but carrying you through this last hour and into the weekend, it is your dutiful co-hosts, Tom Gray and Aria DiMezzo, coming to you remotely from satellite locations of the Vertcoin studio here on the Call to Freedom on a Friday. We are without Will Coley. He is at a function with his two boys, a much happier occasion than the family issues you heard about there before Will left. Now, I wanted to lead off this hour with a story that is somewhat near and dear to my heart. So, for the listeners who aren't familiar with me, Tom Gray, the one of the co-hosts of the show, I went to law school at the University of by God, Virginia, Wahoo, while we're going to win the whole daggone tournament, and I don't care who says otherwise, in Charlottesville, Virginia. And, of course, last summer, Charlottesville played unwilling host to a large group of neo-Nazis and alt-rightists and neo-Confederates, sometimes carrying tiki torches and pretending they were real torches. But anyway, it was a pretty chaotic scene. The police in Charlottesville were horribly ill-equipped to handle it, and the authorities in Charlottesville were ill-equipped to police it. And by that I include my fellow attorneys who are supposed to be the keepers of law and order up there and who are a large part of the reason why I'm on a libertarian radio show at this point. One of the stories that came out of the Charlottesville protest was that of DeAndre Harris. DeAndre Harris was an African-American who was part of the counter-demonstration against the white nationalists. And he was on video in a garage, beaten with sticks, with poles, with, I think with the butt of a gun at one point, by a group of white nationalists. And then he, DeAndre Harris, the man who was beaten, who suffered a spinal injury, was charged with assault. Because the state is oh so good at these things. And we have an update here on that story. This is from AlJazeera.com. Charlottesville, DeAndre Harris found not guilty of assault. DeAndre Harris, an African-American, beaten by at least 6 white nationalist demonstrators at the August 12th Unite the Right rally, has been found not guilty by a court in Charlottesville, Virginia. Harris, whose case was decided by a judge on Friday, had been facing charges of misdemeanor assault and battery. His defense team had argued that he was acting in self-defense. A video of Harris's beating went viral in the days following the white nationalist rally, prompting an outcry. Harris was initially charged with a felony, but it was later reduced to a misdemeanor. 4 of his attackers have also been charged. Also from CBS 19 News in Charlottesville, DeAndre Harris has been found not guilty of assault. The verdict was reached Friday afternoon in Charlottesville General District Court. Harris was accused of hitting someone during the Unite the Right rally on August 12th. Cell phone video later showed Harris being beaten by a group of white nationalists in the Market Street parking garage. He needed several stitches following the beating. Several men have been indicted on charges of beating Harris. It looks like that's a total of 4 out of the 6 who were on video. Activist groups, including Black Lives Matter Charlottesville, Congregate Charlottesville, which is a group of an interfaith group there in Charlottesville, and Showing Up for Racial Justice Charlottesville, have been calling for the charges against Harris to be dropped. After the verdict was announced, they released a statement saying, in part, DeAndre Harris's acquittal today shows he never should have been charged with a crime in the first place. We were further outraged when DeAndre was charged with a crime based on the testimony of the same white supremacist who attacked him.
Okay, but I mean, the allegation is that, he hit first. And I don't know if that's true or not. That was the point of the trial. But just because you're the one who gets your ass kicked worse doesn't mean you're not guilty of starting the fight.
Well, it was interesting that the claim that he beat someone up first was never borne up by video when they were it all happened in the same parking garage, and the evidence that was released to the media was some of it was cell phone video, but there were also security cameras in the parking garage. So the judge would have seen that as well in evaluating his self-defense claim.
Well, I agree. And I mean, obviously that's why he was found, not guilty. But I mean, the idea that, he should have never been charged because he got, beaten up worse than the other guys, it doesn't hold water.
Well, I think the allegation was he never should have been charged because there was never any evidence beyond the say-so of the people who beat him up that he committed a crime in the first place. So it was that was the objection, as I understood it, from people on the ground. There have been other...
I mean, that makes sense, but what other way do we have of finding out what's truth and what isn't than by holding a trial, whether civilian or state? Right?
Well, I suppose that's a good question that we can discuss in terms of pure theory. I mean, you are the faux leader of Anarchist Utopia, you being an anarchist. How would you approach justice in this situation? Would you throw everybody into one big trial? Would you go with what you had? Would you only arrest the people you had video evidence on? Would you weigh the video evidence equally to the sole testimony of people who you knew had already committed a crime against this man themselves?
Well, I would not do any of it. I'm not qualified to make judgments about other people's guilt and what they may have done.
What would you want to see happen, I guess?
I mean, I would imagine that the ideal would be that everybody was sent to their own corners to chill out where they couldn't, get back into fights with each other and other people, while some private investigators looked into the matter to determine who was actually at fault. And obviously, it would trace back to the white nationalists as being at fault.
Right.
But we can't just make that assumption. Well, and I just did, but
yeah,
that's because we're in the real world, and we're talking theory at the moment.
Part of the background here was that before the big rally, the big Unite the Right rally, there had been some other rallies by white nationalist groups here in the summer that they'd gone and gotten, of course, a government permit for. And counter-protesters had come, of course, to those protests and stayed on the opposite side of barricades. The police set up barricades to protect one protest because those people had government permits. And when the other people got too rowdy and failed, they wanted one side to disperse because they didn't have the government permit and the others did. So the perception was the cops were favoring the white nationalist protesters in the first place. So there had been a few months of lead up to this. So then when, against that backdrop, then you have a guy on video getting the tar beaten out of him by 6 dudes with sticks, and you charge the guy who got beat up, you can kind of understand why the reaction was a little bit one-sided. Well, we'll get into more of the news of the day. We'll see if H.R. McMaster is still employed and more here on the Call to Freedom, LRN.FM.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Are you in love with a beautiful woman? You can show her tomorrow on St. Patrick's Day. Just try to stay away from all of the horrible anti-Irish stereotypes, including green beer, leprechaun costumes, and pinching people who aren't wearing green. Especially if they happen to be wearing orange. Like if you're wearing green and you pinch someone who's not wearing green but they're wearing orange, you have just unwittingly participated in a centuries-long ethno-religious war that you probably have no stake in. Unless your name is O'Malley or O'Connor or Cooley or Gray, like two of your three hosts. Welcome back to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Your classic co-hosts Tom Gray and Aria DiMezzo holding down the fort while Will, our usual host, attends to family functions. We devoted the 5 p.m. hour today to Libertarian Drama of the Week to make sure that Will got to participate in that. But of course that means that we skipped out on cryptocurrency news. So I wanted to make sure that we covered some of that this last hour. Having a look at the markets today, Bitcoin has rallied back over $8,500. You guys heard the crew yesterday talk about what caused the dip in the big BTC as well as the rest of the market. This kerfuffle with Google ads. Ethereum is trading at $613.83 according to CoinMarketCap.com. Ripple at 69.8 cents. Bitcoin Cash at 1,004.54. And if you'll give me a moment, I will have a look for our friends over at VTC. Vertcoin trading at $2.23, up 5.68% in the last 24 hours. We got a story out of Plattsburgh, New York. This is actually more important than it sounds on its face. From Gizmodo, city in New York becomes first to ban new Bitcoin mining. The people of Plattsburgh, New York have had enough. On Thursday night, the city council approved an 18-month moratorium on new cryptocurrency mining operations. The temporary ban will be used to figure out what to do with these ding-dong miners using up all the electricity. That ding-dong miners being a term that's come up with by Gizmodo, who I suppose doesn't care for cryptocurrency mining. Anyway.
Well, I assumed it was meant to censor something that was probably, quoted and much worse, and that isn't radio friendly.
Like something they quoted, like in the city council resolution, like, we're putting an 18-month moratorium on all these bleepity-bleep miners. Resolved.
Well, I mean, with a small town like Plattsburgh, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised to hear the people of Plattsburgh, New York refer to cryptocurrency miners as, what to figure out what to do with these ding-dong miners.
Minnesota now?
My wife's family is from New York. I'm telling you, when they really get into it, you can't tell the difference between Western New York accent and Minnesota accent unless somebody says oofta. So, moving on with this article. Most cryptocurrencies require a quote-unquote mining process. Real advanced technical writing here at Gizmodo. In which servers are used to guess the solution to a complex equation. It takes a lot of electricity.
That's entirely wrong. They're not guessing anything.
Yeah, we could go on for days about what's wrong with that sentence. But anyway, this is true, though. Going back to the article, it takes a lot of electricity to be a miner, and the ones who are successful tend to use a large network of mining rigs. To cut down on their energy expenses, miners have flocked to cities with cheap power, and we're just beginning to learn what cost that brings to the municipalities themselves.
There's a really simple solution to this. This entire article has a really simple solution, but continue, please. Sorry.
Yeah, I want to hear your solution after we tell people what the problem is, because people are probably thinking, well, if electricity's cheap and people pay for their electricity, what's the problem? So, existing operations will not be affected by the moratorium. Plattsburgh Mayor Colin Reed told Motherboard his city has the cheapest electricity in the world thanks to its close proximity to a hydroelectric dam. The national average for electricity cost is just over 10 cents per kilowatt hour. In Plattsburgh, it's just 4.5 cents. But the city decided to offer industrial operations an even better rate of 2 cents per kilowatt hour. And then the miners came to town. So they, to get businesses there, they offered a better rate on electricity, and then some businesses came, and now they're mad.
Yeah, the solution is to privatize the ding-dong electricity.
Booyah! And that solution may come into further focus when you read the next paragraph too, right? Because according to Motherboard, Plattsburgh gets 104 megawatt hours of electricity per month, and if it exceeds its allotment more, has to be purchased on the open market at a significant premium. Well, right there you go.
Yeah, they're mad because people are using the free stuff that they're getting and that they chose to give away.
And that they're crappy negotiators who can't just say, we need 10 more megawatt hours at the usual rate. And then when their provider's like, oh, we don't want to sell it to you at the usual rate, they can't just say, well, go find another provider like a private business would do. Or they can't just say, well, let's renegotiate the rate to compensate for the additional use like a business would do. Instead,
let's give this other company the right to put a hydroelectric dam right in front of yours.
Ooh. I don't know enough about engineering to know how that would work, but I smell what you're cooking. I guess you would have to put the new dam behind the old one, wouldn't you? Because then the water's rushing over.
I mean, behind and front, whichever way it works. I mean,
one way or another, there is a simpler solution to this than banning an entire line of business. Which, by the way, again, the problem started when they passed a law to try to get industrial operations to their town by offering them cheaper electricity. And then lo and behold, some industrial operations moved in that required electricity. And they used some electricity.
Did you read this? While this has been known to happen in the winter months, the State Public Service Commission concluded that the average resident in Plattsburgh saw a $10 increase in their bill in January just because of two cryptocurrency companies.
Oh, but then...
So again, privatize this crap. Stop socializing it. Why do you have your average residents paying the electricity for the ding-dong miners?
Exactly. The ding-dong miners will gladly pay your electricity. It's factored into their costs. I mean, there's more to this story that gets to the interplay between government and crypto mining that we'll get to on the other side of the half-hour break. It's Tom Gray, Arya DeMezzo holding down the fort for our host Will Coley here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
On May 22, 1992, beloved talk show host Johnny Carson ended his 30-year run of hosting The Tonight Show with a farewell episode that included special guests Saddam Hussein, KKK Grand Wizard Virgil E. Griffin, and a musical performance by the Flagshifters. On May 24, 1883, the Brooklyn Bridge opened, providing New Yorkers with a more efficient way of killing themselves and escaping their trash-ridden excrement-cake city. The monument's historic opening was marked by hundreds of people jumping 275 feet to their deaths in order to avoid waking up every morning with the smell of horse shit filling their nostrils.
Before the Brooklyn Bridge, there were very few ways for New Yorkers to free themselves from the cesspool in which they lived. One method was to tie cinder blocks on their legs and walk into the Hudson River. But of course, the banks of the Hudson were so brimming with garbage and raw sewage that the putrid stench would drive back even the most desperate suicide seeker.
This is the Onion News Network.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
The warning signs.
At first, he made me feel special. He promised he'd look after me, provide for my future. He broke every promise he made.
Millions of Americans afflicted.
I was ready to leave, but he told me he'd change. So I gave him another chance. I was such a fool.
The consequences.
Things only got worse. He started making my decisions for me. About my job, my kids' education, my money, my safety, my future. He took away my choices, but I kept going back to the same politicians.
The diagnosis? Battered voter syndrome.
I fell for the same old lies. They were just playing with my emotions, telling me what I wanted to hear. That's not right.
If you're tired of the two-party system but want to support a principled Libertarian Party, check out the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire at lpnh.org. That's lpnh.org.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
You know, in a way, I wish Will hadn't stepped out, because we really should be playing Irish music this last hour as we lead into St. Patrick's Day weekend. Those of you celebrating my people's patron saint this weekend, please drink beer that's a regular color. Is that really too much to ask? Welcome back to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Your co-hosts Tom Gray and Aria DeMezzo holding down the fort as Will Coley, our host, is at a family function. We've been talking about this story out of Plattsburgh, New York, which claims to have the cheapest electricity in the country. They decided to make it even cheaper for industrial operations because they wanted to use that cheap electricity to bring businesses to town. And they did bring businesses to town. It's just some of them happened to mine cryptocurrency. And they're not happy about that. Because guess what? The businesses they brought to town, by lowering their electricity rates, use electricity. And this is apparently a problem.
Well, you know, I think there's more to it than that. It's that these industries, crypto mining, and as much as I love cryptocurrency, I have to admit that a crypto mining operation coming to your town and setting up isn't really going to add much value to your town. I mean, it's not like it's not a BMW plant, which would probably use about the same amount of electricity, but would also create, 200 jobs? So in a certain sense, I get it. It's just this big, expensive, bulky thing coming in that's not really doing much for anybody but themselves.
Right.
But their solution isn't, hey, what if everybody just paid their own freaking electricity bill? It's, let's stop these people from coming into town entirely.
Yeah. Or let's not incentivize one kind of activity with in fact, let's just not have the government try to pick which activities it's going to incentivize. Let's try to incentivize all economic activity by keeping government as far out of it as you can. For instance, instead of having a government negotiating your electricity rates and doing a really bad job of it, putting an actual cap on how much electricity the whole town is allowed to use per month. I mean, that's where the problem with the story starts, isn't it? Because the town, instead of negotiating a rate that stayed the same and let people, pay for the electricity they use, they negotiated a rate that is capped, has a hard cap on it, and over that cap, anything over that cap, they have to buy more from somewhere else at a much higher rate.
It's not that unusual. I don't know about electricity, but I know that's how mobile carriers do it. You get X amount of data at this premium, much cheaper rate, but if you need to buy more of it because the amount that you purchased isn't sufficient, it's going to cost you quite a lot more per gigabyte than you were paying initially.
Sure, but this would be like the government of your town saying, okay, everybody in town gets a terabyte of mobile data a month. And if the people in the town use more than a terabyte, everybody's bill goes up, even if you only use 500K. That seems to be what's gone on here. Because it's not really even the town complaining, it's the people in the town, because the increased usage got passed on not to the companies that use the most electricity, which they're claiming the spike was because of a couple of crypto companies, but I would just about bet that there are plenty of larger users in the town, but instead of passing on the cost to the people who are using the most electricity, they passed it on to everybody. It was an average of $10 on your power bill, which here locally, that would be about a 5% increase over our monthly power bill. 10% increase. And not for any electricity they used, but because your town was bad at collective bargaining. Or more to the point, because your town was doing collective bargaining for you, instead of you bargaining with people who had actual like interest and like usage, or instead of you bargaining yourself. So, back to the story. It's also worth noting that the article says that the electricity bills going up has been known to happen in the winter months. So it's not even like this is a new problem. They're used to dealing with this, and they haven't adjusted for it. Even though it's like a typical thing that it gets cold in the winter and we go over this cap. They still haven't adjusted the cap. And instead of going back and renegotiating the cap to account for both winter months and the new cryptocurrency mining operations, they just decided to ban.
Winter in New York?
Oh no, that never happens. Especially, Can you look up where in New York Plattsburgh is
didn't we just have, one of the coldest, at some points, the coldest winter on record?
We did. We're in the South.
New Hampshire was colder than the Arctic at some point. I gotta think that's not especially common.
Yeah, I'm wondering
if it does, I am not moving there.
I've been waiting for you to say that because it seems like every time he brings up weather, Will has been pushing you a little bit further away from moving. And
it's only negative 219 degrees today. When are you coming up here, Arya?
I only saw 3 snow demons in my driveway today, Arya. When are you going to come up here? And you're like, I don't like the cold. And he's like, you can buy clothes here. Or something. I can't remember. Gosh, there is distracting conversation going on in the Discord. I'm going to have to close it in a minute. These people are being filthy over here. You people have filthy brains and filthy lives, apparently. Anyway, so finishing out the story while Arya looks up where Plattsburgh is.
I was reading the Discord.
Local lawmakers plan to work with the mining operations that are already present and use the moratorium to buy time while they come up with a permanent solution. On Thursday, the PSC gave upstate power authorities the ability to impose tariffs on cryptocurrency miners. So the power company itself is now targeting crypto mining as an industry.
Well, only where it's socialized, right? I mean, what they're trying to do there, that's not even possible if there's privatized electricity, right? I mean, I guess they could still do it, but it wouldn't be a tariff. It would just be a, hey, you're using a lot of electricity and we don't like it.
Yeah, if it was privatized and it was one-on-one, then the rate would be set based upon, the rate would be universal, and it would just be rate times kilowatt hours. There wouldn't be this dumb cap, I don't think. Even if you had brownouts or whatever, it would probably be once. You wouldn't pass the cost on to the individuals who weren't even using the electricity. And that's what seems to have caused the outcry. So, final paragraph. But it all raises a larger question about the economic value of Bitcoin. Because, of course, they must have been mining Bitcoin. They couldn't have been mining anything else. Because we've never heard of another cryptocurrency here at Gizmodo, which supposedly writes about technology. When a town drops its electricity rates to encourage industrial investment and all the extra electricity gets used by miners, what benefit comes to the town? Well, we will hit this and some final thoughts going into the weekend when we get back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Tom Gray, Aria DiMezzo covering for Will Coley on this St. Patrick's Day Friday.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
We are finishing out your St. Patrick's Day Friday on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Your classic co-hosts Tom Gray and Aria DiMezzo filling in for Will Coley, who is at a family function. There's so many distracting things going around me. There's you filthy people in the Discord chat talking about goth girls and the size of their bosoms. There is Aria sending me pictures of what appears to be somebody, horrifying picture of someone in an Arvin Vahra mask. Well, no, it's someone has photoshopped Arvin Vahra's face onto a guy, but they have twisted his face up at the corners.
Shrugging meme guy?
Yeah, on a shrugging meme guy. But it's Arvin's face, but they have curved his admittedly fortuitous eyebrows and beard up at the corners, so it looks like a Guy Fawkes mask, except it's Arvin Vahra. So all sorts of distractions going on. Not only that, but I am constantly refreshing both Twitter and Google, waiting to see if H.R. McMaster gets fired today. I am part now of a Trump administration Deadpool. The idea is basically we're all wagering on who will be the next one to resign, get fired, or get indicted. We all lost on the last round of the Deadpool because, as it turns out, hidden deep in the rules of the Deadpool, legal separation counts for purposes of the Deadpool. So, the last person up was actually Vanessa Trump, the wife of Donald Trump Jr., who filed for divorce a couple of days ago. So nobody had her in the Deadpool. So she didn't. We didn't win any money. Right now, the two leading candidates in the Deadpool are Trump Chief of Staff John Kelly, and Trump National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster. We've already had a couple of false positives.
Honestly, I find it kind of disheartening that we even know about the divorce of some of Trump's family members.
Well, it's a public filing. I mean...
I know, but I mean, it wasn't newsworthy when Obama's second cousin got divorced, or when Bush's third grandchild got divorced.
Well,
I mean, it was newsworthy when he did cocaine and got arrested.
Yeah, see, that might have made a Deadpool at the time, but I think it's just because firings, resignations, and indictments have become so frequent in the Trump administration, and also people like to gamble. So why not gamble on who's going to be the next one to exit this whirlwind administration? But the Washington Examiner had reported about an hour ago that H.R. McMaster triggered a flurry of activity among reporters when he was spotted on the White House grounds Friday afternoon, amid reporting that his departure is only a matter of time. McMaster appeared twice outside the West Wing, resulting in a rush of reporters out of the adjacent White House briefing room. A Pool report described the scene as a, quote, press corps fire drill. Quote, everybody has got to leave the White House at some point, McMaster told Tara Palmieri of ABC News, who tweeted his remarks after the first sighting. Well, it sounds like McMaster kind of fueled the speculation himself by pointing out that everyone is leaving. Everyone's got to go at some point. It's just a matter of when it's your time. Speaking of which, you may have caught that Congresswoman Louise Savage. Was that her name? Well, a congresswoman passed away. A Democratic congresswoman who was 88 years old, Louise Slaughter. You can see why I would think Savage was close enough. Passed away. She was 88 years old, and she died because she got sick after a fall. So there's another example of everybody's got to go sometime. Although I question why someone who is 88 years old and sick enough that they could die after a fall would be in Congress writing laws for all of us young, healthy people in the first place. Call me heartless, but...
Well, I wouldn't mind it if Ron Paul was still, in the House. And he's like 1 million years old now.
Yeah, but there's a difference between being, like... Dr. Paul is old.
Yeah.
But
he's up there.
But he's also in pretty phenomenal shape for an old dude. I mean, the guy has the only home run in the history of the congressional baseball game. I mean, he is an athletic man. Yeah, that's true.
I did not know that.
I don't think anybody's hit one, but that was like a major claim to fame for him.
It was his baseball ability, not
his
diehard libertarian stances. Awesome.
Well,
Yay, America.
That tells you a lot about priorities in Washington, D.C., that when people knew about his views, but that's why he was a big deal in Congress, in the halls of Congress, was he could hit home runs. So Ron Paul was basically single-handedly the reason that Republicans had like a really long streak of winning the inter-congressional softball game for like decades while he was in Congress. But Dr. Paul
useless information I would never need to know, but fascinating.
It's semi-useful because we know that if Dr. Paul were to get back into Congress, even at his advanced age, he's not going to die because he fell down. I know that old people...
I really hope not.
Yeah, I think Rand is more likely to die because he fell down.
I kind of hope so.
Oh, how cruel, except we wouldn't notice, would we? Rand was getting... He did get some play, of course, because he said he's going to protest Gina Hausper, who is Trump's new pick for head of the CIA, who Rand called, not incorrectly, the head cheerleader for waterboarding.
That's not good. I mean, go him for, I guess, standing against the nomination, though. Broken clock, all of that.
Yeah. Now, let me find the exact quote, because I don't want to misquote my friend. Because I have a friend whose father was in the intelligence services, and he's liberal. He's a Democrat. So even though I disagree with him on a lot of stuff, I very much value his opinion on such things.
Well, anyone who is pro-torture needs only to put themselves in a stress position for 15 minutes. Just 15 minutes of it. And I promise they can't hold it. They'll be in tears by the end of it. And we're talking about leaving people in those positions for days. And that's nowhere near as bad as waterboarding or any of the other things the CIA gets up to. It's completely unacceptable.
So I asked him if he thought that it was fair to call her the head cheerleader for waterboarding, and here's what he said. I'm going to use a terrible analogy. Sam is Jewish, by the way, that I don't think holds in a lot of ways, but it does explain what I mean. The Holocaust. I think calling her the head cheerleader...
Wow, we went right there.
Wait. I think calling her the head cheerleader for waterboarding would be like calling the commandant of a random concentration camp the head cheerleader for killing Jews. Yes, the commandant is responsible for what happened under his watch and certainly didn't object to the policies, but is also one of many commandants, and also quite a bit far down the line of seniority to be the head cheerleader. Which I take away from that yes, it is fair to call her the head cheerleader for waterboarding and to object to her being given charge over our intelligence services, to the extent you think they should exist. Well, may the road rise up to meet you, may your beer be the proper color, and if you dress as a leprechaun this St. Patrick's Day weekend, may the cat eat you and the cat be eaten by the devil. Thank you for joining us for the Call to Freedom. Tom Gray, Will, and Arya DeMezzo for Will Coley. We will be back on Monday. Stay safe, my friends.
There is no such thing as attention span, according to Jerry Seinfeld, who figures that people have an infinite attention span if you are entertaining them. Hey, he's kept us from channel surfing for several decades, and now he's making more millions as a Las Vegas headliner. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important, especially if you're looking for work. So choose every single word as though it was the last word the person you're speaking to will hear. Otherwise, it might be. Avoid redundancies such as added bonus, advance warning, end result, prior history, or personal belongings. And avoid cliches like the plague. Just kidding. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
The three most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.LRN.FM. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by Freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, March 16th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.46 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,320 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $20, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,204. Antiwar.com reports U.S. tensions with Russia are looking to get worse yet again as the Trump administration on Thursday announced a new round of sanctions against Russian organizations and individuals. Administration officials said it was retaliation for meddling in the 2016 election and malicious cyber attacks. The sanctions hit 3 organizations and 13 individuals. Those targeted were accused of spreading disinformation and propaganda to promote the election of President Trump. Russian officials say they believe the move was a political one. Congressional hawks, eager to target Russia early and often, were quick to criticize the latest sanctions as insufficient. Congressmen in both parties say the administration needs to do far more to punish Russia. In the meantime, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabakov confirmed that Russia is preparing to impose its own retaliatory measures against the United States in response to the latest sanctions. That's unsurprising, as the U.S. and Russia have been hitting one another with tit-for-tat sanctions for months on end now, each side determined not to let the other have the last laugh, and subsequently responding to one another's responses, keeping relations growing ever worse.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports the Department of Justice announced Thursday a Japanese company, Toyobo, and its U.S. subsidiary agreed to pay $66 million in a settlement with the U.S. government for selling defective bulletproof vests to federal, state, local, and tribal law enforcement agencies. Between at least 2001 and 2005, Toyobo knew that its bulletproof vest material, Zylon, degraded quickly in normal heat and humidity, which made it unfit for use in bulletproof vests, according to the settlement. Despite this knowledge, the company actively marketed the material for use in bulletproof vests, and in 2003, when Second Chance Body Armor recalled some of its vests containing Zylon, Toyobo tried to influence other companies to keep selling their Zylon-containing vests. The controversy over the effectiveness of Zylon led to a study by the National Institute of Justice that found that more than 50% of Zylon-containing bulletproof vests could not stop a bullet, which led to the official decertification of the material. The settlement also resolves a lawsuit against Toyobo filed by Dr. Aaron Westrick, a former Second Chance employee. Westrick filed a whistleblower complaint under the False Claims Act, which allows him to sue on behalf of the government and share in any recovery. As part of the settlement, he will receive $5.775 million.
In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake Security Company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
Reuters reports a newly erected pedestrian bridge spanning several lanes of traffic collapsed at Florida International University on Thursday, killing 4 people, according to Miami-Dade County Fire Chief Dave Downey. Emergency personnel with sniffer dogs searched for signs of life amid the wreckage of concrete slabs and twisted metal after the 950-ton bridge crushed vehicles on one of the busiest roads in South Florida. Officials and doctors told a news conference Thursday night at least 8 vehicles were trapped in the wreckage of the bridge and at least 10 people had been transported to hospitals. Witnesses told media the vehicles were stopped at a traffic light when the bridge collapsed on top of them around 1:30 p.m. Eastern. At one point, police requested television helicopters leave the area so rescuers could hear for any sounds of people crying for help from beneath the collapsed structure. Complicating the rescue efforts was the uncertainty about the integrity of the bridge, parts of which remained off the ground, much of it inclined. According to a post on the university's website, the 174-foot-long bridge connects the university with the city of Sweetwater and was installed on Saturday in 6 hours over the 8-lane highway. Students at the university are currently on spring break vacation. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
In an unsettling video released over the web this week, Buddhist extremist cell Kamathana vowed to unleash a massive wave of serenity and nirvana all across the West. Members of the group threatened to implement such severe measures as tranquil chanting, meditation sessions, and eye-opening koans, and assured U.S. leaders of the group's absolute commitment to engulfing Americans in complete and unyielding enlightenment. Here now is a clip from the video.
We will not cease until every city, from New York to London, succumbs to a state of spiritual harmony. Prepare yourself.
Sources confirm that the Pentagon responded to the film by ordering immediate tactical bombings throughout Tibet. And in tech news, the inventor of the Gromdar says he's determined to put a Gromdar in every American home. In other news, a woman who had almost formed a healthy sense of self joined social media, and an area man can remember exactly where he was and what he was doing when he assassinated